Okay, then we're going to test this for symmetry about the x-axis. So, as mentioned earlier, we have to replace all the y values in the equation with negative y. Then simplify. So we're going to replace it with negative y. So here's the y value, we'll put negative y in. That doesn't simplify anything. It just stays the same, and obviously this is different than our original. Y equals x squared plus 6. Since it's different, that means that it's not symmetrical about the x-axis. So to help me remember what to plug in for what, I just remember that for x, to test for x, to test for y, you change the x's to negative x, and to test for x, you replace the y's with negative y. So it's just the opposite. So this one, in this case, is symmetrical about the y-axis, but not about the x-axis. Then we have, to test for symmetry about the origin, we have to replace all y values in the equation with y, and all the x's with the equation with x. So basically, we're just doing both. So we're doing our first one, y equals x squared plus 6. We're putting negative y in, and we're putting a negative x squared in. So obviously, this would simplify to x squared plus 6, but we're stuck with this still. And that doesn't simplify, and this isn't the same as that. So that would mean that it's not symmetrical about the origin because it ends up not matching the original equation. So our solution would be there is symmetry about the y-axis only. Now, going back to what I said at the beginning, that, remember, this is a quadratic. So a way to sort of check this would be, okay, what would this look like? So obviously, it would look like this. Obviously, that's not very good, but x squared plus 6. Here's the y. So that makes sense that it's symmetrical about the y-axis because that would fold in half. Now the x-axis goes this way. So it couldn't be symmetrical about the x-axis because it doesn't fold. It wouldn't be the same. And then if we're going for origin, we would go this way. Sorry, that's not a very good line. And it wouldn't fold diagonally either. So it makes sense that it would only be the y-axis because it is a quadratic. So there we go. Referring to what I said earlier, to help this make more sense. If it's a negative b, must be on the graph for symmetry about the x-axis. So as I was saying, my pen ran out of ink. That's why I had to get a different one. So if we have symmetry about the x-axis, we'd be here. So the negative b would be the negative y. All your negative values for y are down here. So that would make sense that that would be here. That'd be symmetrical about the x-axis. If it's symmetrical about the y-axis, your x values would have to be negative. So here the x values are negative. So it would be over here. That would make sense that this would be symmetrical about the the y-axis, my bad. If it's the origin, we're splitting it here. So origin is kind of confusing, but it'd be negative x and negative y. So if that's your point, or it would be kind of here. It folds along this line. So if that helps, I hope. Sorry, I wanted to do that earlier, but I just now got my pen. So there you go. I hope that made sense.